Mary Backstage, Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the footlights and their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Aboard the Charles W. Morgan, the Backstages, Pop and Calvin, are being shanghaied to Yokohama by Captain Wolf Larson, along with a cargo of transistors. The captain, by turns, is warm and friendly, and then surly and menacing. Right now, in his friendly mood, we hear Captain Larson say,
"Are you all having a good time on the good ship, Morgan?"
"Well, yes, we are."
See, Captain, I don't want to upset you any.
Go right ahead. Nothing could upset me, mate.
Yeah, careful, Calvin.
You know, sir, we're actors, troopers, so to speak, and we were on our way to Chelsea, Massachusetts, where we're going to appear in the theater in the round there in Westchester Furioso.
See, we just stopped at Mystic Seaport, Connecticut to take a little sightseeing tour. Then we were going on to Chelsea and rehearsals that open next week in the show.
Oh, I see. Well, go on, matey.
And we wondered, sir, if you would come about and bring us back to Mystic, because we have these prior commitments.
Very well said, Calvin. How about it, Captain?
I don't know if that's asking too much, matey. I don't think I could come about, though. I'm on a tight schedule here.
Boy,
Right there.
got him at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, we have to be to Yokohama right on schedule. Tell you what I might do, though.
What's that, Captain?
I might put you in a boat and let you over the side. I have a dinghy here that we could use. I think I have enough hands here to take care of this ship.
You got a power winch so you can lower it over the side?
You bet we do, matey.
Oh, that would be just...
Oh, that would be the answer to our prayers, Captain Larson. We'll be forever grateful. And Miss Rogers says thank you, too.
All right, matey. Lower the dinghy.
All right, sir.
Climb aboard. Now I want to give you some provisions.
Okay, wait till he gets it down a little bit more here.
Here, get them some powdered eggs, some dried beef, give them some sourdough starter.
Have you got any breakfast squares?
See if we got some breakfast square.
All right, sir.
Give them everything they need.
They're all loaded aboard, sir.
Okay, well, Captain Larson, let me just shake your hand and say this has been a very wonderful experience. How far do you suppose we are from Mystic?
Yes, how far we have to row to
Oh,
get
I
back?
reckon you're about 150 nautical miles as the crow flies.
Oh, I see.
It's going to be some
All
row.
right, then. Let's get aboard.
All right. All right, we're all aboard. You can lower us into the water.
Bye now, matey.
Goodbye, Captain.
I'm awful sorry if I inconvenienced you any.
No, no trouble at all. No trouble at all.
Well, he turned out to be a fit.
We've landed. We're in the water.
The gentleman, didn't he?
Let me man the oars, Harry, to start with. 150 nautical miles. Is that more than land miles or less?
You know what we forgot to ask the captain?
What's that?
Which way do we go? I mean, I can't see land anyway.
Well, I should think if we just go in the opposite direction to the way he's going, we'll get back to Mystic.
Good thought. We can just follow the wake of the ship.
Right.
Well, that wake will end after about 30, 40 feet, maybe, or 100
Yeah, but
feet.
then we'll be in the right direction anyway.
Well, if you think so.
And maybe the radio will help us find Mystic Seaport again.
Very good. All right, I'll just sit back here. And Miss Jerry Rogers will stay up front there with you, I suppose.
I think that would be the best place, yes. Keeps the weight balanced in the boat.
Okay.
We should get there by the end of the week, I think. We've got plenty of food, good weather ahead. Keep rowing.
I don't think we have anything to worry about.
And so Captain Larson releases his prisoners, and our friends head back to Mystic Seaport, Connecticut. You want to join us tomorrow, and we'll hear Calvin say,
Isn't there more water here in the boat than should be?
that's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage, Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking.
Well, we want to use our facilities here to help unknown young inventors to become nationally known. In fact, we've spent most of our free time this week going over letters from people with new discoveries who do need financial backing. And we picked out the most promising letter and have flown the young inventor named Nimble Flick to New York by, what airline was that, Bob?
I thought he came on the bus.
Well, I guess he did, but we're supposed to plug some airline in connection with this.
Oh.
Well, no matter. Maybe he'll come to me later. Anyway, congratulations on being selected as our unknown inventor of the month, Mr. Flick.
Well, thank you. It's indeed an honor and a pleasure to have my name associated. Are we on the air yet?
Yes. Can you hear him all right, engineer? Fine. Okay. Yes, we've been on the air all along.
I thought a light flashed on or something when you went on the air.
No, it flashes outside the door out there.
I
can't
see.
see it from in here.
Thank you. It is indeed an honor and pleasure to have my name associated with the great Bob and Ray organization.
Well, we want to use our facilities here to help unknown young inventors to become nationally known. I understand that you've developed what you call a convertible table.
That's correct, Bob and Ray. By making a series of adjustments on this dial here, it's possible to convert this table into anything from a nightstand all the way up to a banquet table. Its minimum dimensions are 18 inches square, but with all the valves wide open, it's 6 feet wide and 20 feet long.
It's truly amazing, Mr. Flick. Where in the world did you ever get an idea for an invention like this?
Well, I think the first spark of the idea came shortly after I was married and began furnishing my own home. It seemed that all of my hard-earned cash was going into tables. End tables, coffee tables, library tables, dining room tables.
Yes, the average room does have home, I should say, does have a lot of tables.
Breakfast tables. The average home does have a lot of tables.
Yes.
But did you ever stop to think that you never use two of them at the same time?
Well, no, I guess I never did stop to think about that.
If you're eating dinner at the dining room table, you're not using the nightstand upstairs.
That's right.
You're not doing work at the library table while you're holding a banquet.
Yes, you're right about that.
Well, my idea is to furnish each home with just one table. It can be converted into whatever type and size it's needed at the moment. I could demonstrate very easily how the thing works here.
Well, by all means, we'd like to see your invention in operation, I'm sure.
We have it closed down to a night-size stand now. Then when morning comes, you have no more need for a nightstand, but you do need a breakfast table. So you carry it downstairs, set the dial for breakfast room size, just as I'm doing here, and then press this button underneath.
Wow. Gee, it's amazing. Now this little nightstand is suddenly opened up into an early American-style breakfast room table.
To get a library table, we just reset the dial and press the button.
You know, I think you've really got something here, Mr. Flick.
For a banquet, you just push the dial all the way over and press the button again.
Wait a minute now. If that opens up to 20 feet, there won't be room for it in here, in the studio, that is.
I'm going to press the button now, and in just a moment you'll see how it converts into the dining room banquet table
I'm
of
afraid.
up to 20 feet in length.
You see, Mr. Was it Flick?
Yes, Nimble Flick.
Mr. Flick, see, this studio, if that opens up to 20 feet, I think we're going to have a problem here.
Well, it will. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't think.
Well, you know, any idiot should have realized that a 20-foot table wouldn't go into a little studio like this. He went right through the control room window. Now, would you take your junk and get out of here, please?
What about my bus fare home?
That's your problem. Now, clear out of here.
It's been an honor appearing on your program.
Goodbye.
Next, Mary Backstage, Noble Wife, the story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway.
Yesterday, Captain Wolf Larson set our friends adrift in a rowboat with provisions to head back to Mystic Seaport, Connecticut, as he took the Charles W. Morgan on its trip to Yokohama. Now it's about an hour later as Calvin Hoogovan is manning the oars, and we hear Mary say,
That must be awfully hard work, Calvin, but you're doing a very, very nice job.
I'll be glad to take over from you, Calvin, whenever you get tired.
Well, maybe we ought to set up some kind of a schedule, you know, like I do it for 40 minutes or a half hour, and then somebody else do it for another half hour, 40 minutes. and then somebody else do it for a half hour or 40 minutes, and then maybe the next person can do it.
Well, we can't let the ladies do any rowing, Calvin. It'll have to be between you and Harry and me.
Well, I don't much care. I think I could row a boat. I used to when I was a girl. Of course, I haven't done it for a long time. I don't know if my arms are all that strong.
See Miss Jerry Rogers? She's taking a little nap back in the aft end. Talking in her sleep. We're lucky anyway in having such beautiful blue skies and sunny weather.
It's azure. That's an azure sky, isn't it?
It sure is. Full of ozone, too.
Yes, sir. You know, that bright sun we had this morning, is that sail of aware or sailor take care or what?
Oh, red sky and warning. Sailor take warning.
Oh.
I think that's what it is.
Well, we didn't have too red a sky, did we? It wasn't too bad.
No, it was a very pleasant sky.
That's the first time I've ever spent the night at sea in a dinghy like this.
It will be the first time.
Yes.
Why don't we turn the radio on and maybe that'll get our mind off our troubles here. Of course, we are going in the right direction, I think.
Hope you remembered to put batteries in that radio.
Yes, it has batteries.
You suppose I'm rowing in the right direction?
Wait, I've got something now. Oh, that's nice. The bluebird of happiness. Miss Rogers seems to like the song.
You know, maybe like bombers, we should zero in on this radio signal, and as long as we can hear that, we know we're on the right track. And if it keeps getting louder and louder, we know we'll be heading towards land.
You know whether they have a radio station in Mystic Seaport?
I don't know, but they have one certainly up around that area, New London, in there somewhere.
New Haven, sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's just stay on the beam of this station and we'll end up somewhere.
That's a very good idea.
What kind of speed we're making? You have any idea, Calvin?
I don't know. I figure maybe 2 or 3 knots.
We have in order to canvas prepared. That night the sail was spreaded on
another
deck.
station
The
filtering
car
in.
was placed in it.
Wonder where that
Then it
bluebird was
folded
coming
over a
from.
body and sewn up ready for burial, and then sewn up ready for burial the next day.
Wonder like that.
But even as they did,
Wait, there she is again. I'll try to keep it on this station.
but even as they did so, sorry, but she came. But she. 1680.
Well, we may be coming into a port that has 2 stations.
You know, I think we're going to need the bluebird of happiness. I just discovered we don't have any drinking water.
And so Mary comes to the frightening realization that there's no drinking water provided in the longboat. You want to be here tomorrow when we'll hear Calvin say,
Water, water everywhere. Not a drop to drink.
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking.
Let's check with Wally Blue, who is somewhere with the trophy train. We understand it's en route. It's moving. It isn't stationary, nor is it accepting visitors on this holiday, which is unusual. We'll have to check the reason for that. Wally Blue, come in, please, wherever you are. Let me try that again. I don't think he's gotten the signal. We can hear the background.
Let me know, engineer, when they give you the cue, and if so, I'll know when to start.
This is Bob and Ray in New York, calling Wally Blue en route with the trophy train.
You pointing at me? Are we on? Lee Ballou here on the trophy train. We're approaching Atlanta, Georgia after a weekend of travel. And Mr. Gilmore, the manager of the train, is here with me as we plow ever eastward. Mr. Gilmore, how come we weren't on a siding today and open for business, so to speak?
Well, let me put it this way. It's a serious case of mismanagement. I don't know how we could ever miss a holiday this way to be on
Well, you're the manager.
I understand that, and I'm ready to accept the full responsibility for what I consider a giant gaffe. This is a goof. I mean, excuse me, we should be somewhere to let the people in on a holiday like this. Everybody's out of school, nobody's working. It's a perfect day to have this trophy train at a siding in somewhere, at Valdosta maybe, here in Georgia. We went through Valdosta early this morning, and the thought occurred to me that maybe there are some Bob and Ray fans
Oh,
there.
the boys do have a lot of fans around Valdosta.
Can't make any changes. Now, the engineer has his itinerary up there, and where it says stop, that's where he stops. Where it says keep going, he keeps going. So I have no control over that. We can't make any last-minute adjustments or changes. It's just one of those problems, and as I say, I accept the full responsibility for making this terrible mistake. You have no idea how I feel about this, Mr. Ballou, because I realize...
I have a pretty good idea how you feel about it.
This is a very important holiday, and when we planned this itinerary, I think maybe we forgot that Memorial Day was going to be celebrated on the 27th of May this year, as opposed to the customary 30th to 31st.
That's probably it. That's where the goof occurred.
It absolutely is where it happened, and I accept full responsibility for it.
So you will be open for business here when we get to Atlanta, though, and the Atlantans can come aboard tomorrow.
I have no... looking at my schedule, that doesn't say that we'll stop in Atlanta at all. It says next stop is Jessup, Georgia. Now, here's another bad mistake. Why do we go to Jessup and pass through a big city like Atlanta?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that question. Have you got the answer for it?
I have none. As I say, this is pure mismanagement, and I have to accept the responsibility, although all the decisions were not mine entirely. I mean, we have a committee who made up this itinerary back in New York before we left.
Right. I understand.
Now, it's my responsibility to carry through on the orders that I were given. Now, as I say, I accept full responsibility for this, although the decisions were made by a committee.
Right.
But listen, I'm not trying to say it's not my fault. Listen, excuse me.
I was going to ask you, do you plan to arrive back in New York by this coming weekend as the original plan called for?
Well, looking ahead to the itinerary...
June 1st, I think it was due.
The itinerary calls for us to enter Pennsylvania Station on June 1, 1974. So that would
be this Saturday, then.
That's right.
Then you will be, and then the siding will be selected.
Then we go through Penn Station, and we go through the tunnel out to Harold, which is on the other side, going out towards Long Island.
Harold?
Harold.
Never heard of it.
That's a junction, you see, and we're going to pull off, and we're going to have the trophy train in Harold. We hope for a couple of days here in New York.
Okay, well, then you listeners can make a note of that. You'll be able to board the trophy train after June 1st at Harold.
Oh, my.
Somebody pull the emergency brake.
I accept full responsibility for it.
The trophy cabinets.
I'm the manager of this train. I accept the full responsibility.
I think there's some damage to the trophies themselves and certainly to the cabinets. And I just hope it's all put back in order by the time the folks at Jessup get to come aboard. That's the story then. This is Wally Ballou aboard a sharply stopped trophy train somewhere outside of Jessup, Georgia, returning it to New York. And now Jungle Haven, the last roadside zoo still operating on Interstate 5 with real raccoons, invite you to join us for more thrilling action in the life of Blimix.
My name's Joe Blimix. I'm a private investigator. One night last week, I got a call from an ex-convict I'd helped send up. He said he was out on parole and had to see me right away. It was important. So I did the only thing I could. I rushed over to his place and said, "So you're out on parole and had to see me right away."
That's right. It's important.
So I've been told. What's on your mind?
Well, I've had a lot of time to think, Blimix. You know, I was in stir for almost 8 years.
No. I'd forgotten how long it was. In fact, I can't even remember what they nailed you for.
They nailed me because you went to the cops and told them I'd stolen 3 priceless jade statues from your office.
Oh, were you the one that happened to? Well, I had some big debts to pay off around that time, and I needed to collect the insurance money on my jade to handle things. So, to help fake a robbery, I may have mentioned your name as the creep who pulled the job, but I never dreamed you'd get in trouble.
Yeah? Well, I'm going to pay you back for all that right now.
Oh, that's not really necessary. The insurance company already paid me. Besides, you never actually got the jade, as I recall.
No, but I got 8 years in the joint, Blimix. And for that, I'm going to break every bone in your body.
You know, this little get-together has really been quite a disappointment to me. When you told me to rush right over because it was important, I naturally assumed you had information that would crack the Whitford case.
What's the Whitford case?
I've been retained by millionaire playboy Collier Whitford to search for his missing ne'er-do-well son, Wilton.
but the kid seems to have vanished into thin air.
Not exactly, Blemix. Wilton Whitford was my cellmate in the big house. We had quite a few ne'er-do-wells up there.
What do you know? You know, it never occurred to me to look for him in prison. Here, look, let me give you $5 for your assistance. Go ahead, take it. Come on.
Sure, I'll take it, Blemix. And you can take this. There, that should do for a start. But I'll need to see you again around midnight tomorrow. It's important, so be here on time. Now get up.
After he'd thrown me through the front door, I limped back to my office and tried to fit the pieces together. He had already helped me crack the Whitford case, and that was the only one I was working on, so what else of importance could he need to see me about tomorrow? That was the question. But I couldn't seem to come up with an answer. So I just marked the case closed and stuck it away in my files. The files of Joe Blemix, private investigator.
Next, Mary Backstage, Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway.
It's the morning after our last episode now, and in the longboat, we see Mary, Harry, Pop, Calvin, and Miss Rogers as Pop mans the oars, and they hope they're heading for Mystic Seaport, Connecticut.
We've got to get to Mystic pretty soon because, you know, I wonder now if it was an oversight on Wolf Larson's part to forget to give us drinking water.
Oh, I am so thirsty.
Boy, I really could.
Well, I guess we all are. Pop, are you tired yet? No, I can roll more than this.
Is it true you can't drink this ocean water at all?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, you don't want to drink that.
Oh.
Dippa-dippa-dippa-da.
Even if you took a little sip, it would make you 10 times as thirsty as you are now.
Dippa-dippa-dippa-dippa-da. Oh, well, it sure looks good, though, when you're thirsty, doesn't it?
I thought Captain Larson said there was water aboard this longboat.
I thought he said so, too, but I don't see it anywhere. We're in the length and the width of this longboat.
Calvin, you want to tune that radio in again to be sure we're still on the right direction?
All right.
It's the only way we know whether we're going right or not.
The radio should be, the signal should be loud and clear.
Hope so. Yeah, that's it.
Lady sings it. Seems like all day long. I wonder how they can stand it at the radio station.
Oh, it must
hour
be
after hour of the Bluebird.
Must be a one-record radio station. That's the only answer I can.
It's a new thing they're trying. You know, they have all news, and they have call-in.
That night the
Wait a
bill
minute,
is
John,
printed
there's
on
something
tape.
else now.
Some
The child
stations
was
playing the
placed in
same
it.
record over and over.
Then it was folded over a body and sewn up ready.
Seems to be
Why don't you
jumping
get that
back and
story
forth.
now, anyway.
Huh?
Get that
But
story.
even as they did so, But even as they did so, everybody heard the.
Oh.
Sorry. But
Well, all
she
right.
can't speak- But she.
I like the other station better, I think, Calvin.
Pop, you getting tired?
Yeah. I'm not as young as I used to be, you know.
No, I can tell that. I don't mean to infer that you're not doing a good job.
No, of course, I know.
But I do know that you've slowed up a little bit the last 6-8 months.
Why don't you let me take over at the oars, Pop? I got a good night's sleep. No, not you, Miss Rogers. Stand up, Pop. Be careful not to lose your balance.
Yeah. What is it? Oh,
Flip over that seat.
oh, there we are. All right.
Let me...
Be careful, please. What I wouldn't give. You know what I see now? A big, big barrel of lemonade with
Oh.
big chunks of ice floating in it.
Oh, Mary, don't...
Quarter sections of lemon floating on the top.
Oh, don't.
That's all I see. Just a big barrel of lemonade.
Oh, boy, that really would look good if we could ever find it. But we wouldn't find lemonade out here in the middle of the ocean.
Of course. I mean, she's just dreaming now. You know, it's getting to her. You know, look over there.
What?
Doesn't that look like a storm cloud? Thunderhead coming our way.
It does, and it's moving fast, too.
One thing we don't need now is one of those squalls that you can get coming into Mystic. Did you hear that?
There's thunder. That is a thunder here. Better pull harder on these oars. We've got to make land.
It's raining now. We're in for it.
And so our friends discover that a thunderstorm is about to overtake them. Will this make it impossible for them to reach shore? Be sure and join us tomorrow when we'll hear Calvin say,
The radio signal is getting much more faint now.
that's tomorrow in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble White. Word Carr speaking. I understand you collect autographs as a hobby, is that right, Mr. Fremmett?
Frommet. Basil Frommet. It's an old Dutch name.
Oh.
It used to be spelled with an umlaut, but my grandfather dropped that. People kept leaving the umlaut out anyway, so he dropped it.
They do that.
Yeah. I've never had it changed legally or anything like that. We just dropped the umlaut. That's all there was to it.
Well,
We
we
just dropped it.
didn't want to discuss the umlaut as much as we wanted to talk about your hobby, Mr. Fremmett.
Frommet.
Fremmett. I understand you collect autographs as a hobby, is that right?
That's right, Bob. I brought my album along with me here.
All right. That certainly is interesting, leafing through it. I'm sorry we don't have a camera so everyone else could see.
See, I have a book with a spiral binding. It's easier to open up and write that way.
Yeah. Oh, this first one really is a collector's item. Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one myself.
Glad you had to pay quite a bit to get it, huh?
No, I just walked up to him and asked him to give me his autograph. The wife and I stopped overnight at his motel just outside Cheyenne shortly after I bought this autograph book.
Mm-hmm.
He was really honored to be the first one, and that I asked to sign it. He was quite thrilled about
What you're trying to say is that this isn't the same Abraham Lincoln.
it. Same Abraham Lincoln as what?
It isn't the president.
I thought Nixon was the president.
Let's move along to another one here. This next page, this page 3 here, that looks like Genghis Khan.
Yeah, he's a kind, nice kid. He delivers the groceries in our neighborhood. He wanted to write his name in my book, and I felt I couldn't very well turn him down, so I let him do it.
How about this next one, Admiral Dewey?
Well, he's not really an admiral. He just holds that office in our lodge. His real name is Fred Dewey. I don't know why he signed it Admiral in the book. He's always putting on airs anyway, that guy.
I think we've seen about enough of your collection, Mr.
A lot more
Fremmett.
here. Another whole album full of
Yeah, well,
briefcase.
maybe some other time. We don't want to take
I
up...
didn't get a chance to show you this one from our milkman, John Quincy Adams.
Uh-huh.
Has a nice, steady hand, doesn't he?
Yeah, for a man his age.
Yeah.
You just pick these things up, and I'll help you to the door, okay?
Look at all the scrolls in this autograph from our janitor, Lord Byron.
Yeah.
Wally Ballou, come in, please, wherever you are.
Axstone, Virginia, this is Wally Ballou, and just a very brief report is all the time allotted me of this go-round, but I'll be reporting it later. We arrived here early this morning, and Mr. Gilmore,
Yes, sir?
the reception has been good, hasn't it?
It has been, well, I'd say average for this sized community. We didn't have the high school band, the welcoming committee as such here this morning. We arrived, of course, at an ungainly hour.
Uh-huh.
We got in about 3:15 local time.
Well, that's a little bit too early in the
Most
morning.
people are sleeping,
Yes.
of course. We did have a few police patrol cars come by and check us out to see what we're up to.
Well, they knew, of course, you were arriving.
No, they didn't. They had no idea just what we were doing, and I had to show them my papers and explain things, of course.
And once they heard it was the Bob and Ray Trophy Trade, I imagine they gave you the real red carpet treatment.
Well, they didn't give us any grief, I'll put it that way to you. And they seemed to accept it and said, well, okay, if you know what you're doing, just don't get into trouble, they said.
Very good. Well, we're off to a good start here in Blackstone. The people seem to be happy, seem to be enjoying the trophy trade and what it offers. And we'll talk to some of those people in our next report. Right now, Wally Ballou returning it to